Before I do the state of the town, I'd like to introduce some of the dignitaries that are here tonight from the Board of Education. The Board President, Frank Neglia. Vice President, Andy Chaffo. Board Member Committee Barrios. Member Judy Meyer. Mayor. Joe Sestaro. Allison Cogan. And Mr. Kimbrose. Welcome to the school board this year. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Also, a committee man from Hanover Township, Ace Gallagher. William Chabella wasn't under sheriff for the Morris County Sheriff, former chief of the prosecutors. And they're here for a reason, and you will hear that in my speech. And they're wonderful individuals, and I want to thank you for all you do for your community, but also the Morris County as well. We have the chairwoman of the Morris County Republican Committee, Nicole Santavari, Green. Parsippany Republican Club President, Vincent Shandell. The President of the Sedgefield Civic Association, Carlos Guzman. I'm trying to see if I missed anybody. We have Freeholder and Parsippany resident and former councilman, John Cicero. We have former Board of Education member, Michael Petowitz. Good here so far. And the liaison to the Indian community, Jigga Shah. And we have also board members from the zoning, Nancy Snyder, Jonathan Nelson, and planning board member, a dear friend of mine, Danny Cavano. Former zoning board member George Kimmy, former planning board member Casey Parikh. Now I'm going to ask. No, I'll wait to the end to do what I want to do with our township employees. But anyway, members of the town council, Board of Education, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow Parsippany residents. I want to take this opportunity to report on the state of our township, but first, I want to wish everyone here a very healthy, safe, and prosperous new year. I also want to thank my fellow Parsippany residents for the opportunity to serve as your mayor, and to thank you for your continued support and trust. I forgot somebody, I just saw it. The Chief of the Parsippany-Troy Police Department, Paul Phillips. The Deputy Chief, Richard Pantina. 2016 was a tremendous accomplishment for Parsippany. And the biggest reason for our accomplishments was a change in the relationship between myself and the majority of the council. Not long ago, the executive and legislative branch of our local government did not work well together. Council meetings were circus-like spectacles that did not serve the interests of the township. That had to change, and it did. Last year, Council President Louis Valori and I sat together and decided that whatever our personal differences were in the past, we needed to work closely and cooperatively together to serve you, the people of Parsippany. Because after all, this is not about us, it's about you. I'm proud to report that Council President Valori and I have been working together for the best interest of Parsippany. And now, with the majority of the council working cooperatively with me, great things have happened in 2016 and will happen in 2017. Council President, thank you.
Thank you.
Last year, Money Magazine ranked Parsippany the 5th best place to live in the United States of America. Personally, I'm a jealous mayor. I think we should have been #1. But 5th is an outstanding accomplishment. As Money Magazine stated, and I quote, "Residents pay less in property taxes relative to their home values in Parsippany than they do in 75% of the New Jersey locations we visited. As your mayor, it is my job to balance the public's need for services against the need to raise sufficient revenues to provide those services. And I think we've done a good job at that. Today, Parsippany has the third lowest tax rate in Morris County. Our bond rating is a strong AA, which is proof that we have been a good steward of our taxpayers. I want our taxes to be low as possible, but I also want to ensure that our local government is serving the needs of our residents. One reason for our strong bond rating is our strong economic development. But just don't take my word for it. Moody's Investors Services stated, in fiscal 2016, tax base expansion was driven by a strong increase in commercial, rental leasing activity, highlighting the township's role as a regional employment center. Excuse me 1 minute. I believe that government's most important job is to ensure the safety of our residents, especially our children. Last year, we entered into a historic contract with the Board of Education to assume the safety of our schools. I want to thank the Board of Ed members, before I continue on, for sharing the same vision that I've had since I became mayor in 2010. And without your support and help, we could not have got it done. So thank you so very much. Today, I am proud to say that our police department is providing for the safety of our schools pursuant to this groundbreaking shared service contract agreement. Under that agreement, our police department maintains security of all the public schools, and we have school resource officers in the high schools, both high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools. Before I continue, though, I do want to thank the head of security over there, our Lieutenant Brian Dowd. Thank you so very much for what you do. This program dramatically increases safety for our schools, our children, and dedicated employees who work in the schools. This program is strongly supported by our police department, Board of Education, PTAs, and what is so great about the agreement with the Board of Ed, they share in the cost. So I want to thank you. First time, and I want to thank the BA for that. This agreement was supported by the majority of the council, but shamefully not every council member supported this agreement. And that councilman let politics and personal IUs stand in the way of doing what was right for our community. We've increased our police force from 87 police officers to 103 officers. And that's very important. And I'm going to get into maybe some of that later when I get asked questions afterwards. Not after this, but you see me. But this enabled us to create an anti-drug unit called the Special Enforcement Unit, better known as the SEU unit, which has 3 full-time officers, making Parsippany a bad place for drug dealers, is one part of our strategy to combat the drug epidemic plaguing Morris County and so many other counties in New Jersey. Our SEU unit has made a numerous amount of arrests. And this is one thing when I meet with the chief every Wednesday that he brags about. He brags about that SEU unit because we are combating, we are fighting the drug epidemic. So all I can say is that any drug dealer that wants to come to Parsippany, you are going to be busted. And I want to take the time to thank those officers and all the officers in the township for keeping us safe. The other part of our strategy is to reach our residents directly to help them avoid drugs. It's not easy. The opioid epidemic is real, and the stories of tragedy are truly heart-wrenching. That is why, on behalf of Parsippany, I have joined a coalition of 9 other Morris County towns as part of the Morris Area Coalition for Education and Positive Choices. This coalition has been very active, and you will hear more about the various events that they are sponsoring that will be happening. We're going to do one in Parsippany in February. This is a very important work, and I look forward to working with my coalition members to do all we can to save lives. But here, I cannot take credit for this. There's a gentleman, I would like him to stand up, Ace Gallagher. never seen anything like it. This gentleman, every Friday, every day, is thinking about how he can help the children in his community. But it wasn't just enough for his community. He invited me to come to one of his meetings. He was not just concerned about his community, he was concerned about our community. So Ace, I want to give you kudos. I also want to thank you for letting Parsippany be part of that coalition. Thank you, Ace. We've expanded our services for our seniors. Our seniors have built this town, and we owe it to them to do all we can for them. And this is great, but we recently added, and this is really a brainchild of our BA, the senior prom. It was one of the new programs that we put on for the senior citizens. You know what was so nice about it when I was there? And I got to tell you, it was a huge success, and they're already asking me, when's the next one? But one of the things that they said to me was, you know, Mayor, thank you very much. Thank your administration. Thank Michelle Pacone. We never got to go to our prom, some of them said. So this was such a great alternative for them. It was awesome. We also invested in our recreation facilities, which are virtually important because they add to our quality of life, making Parsippany a more desirable community, and which increases the value of our homes. Last year, we completed the Smithfield expansion project under budget. This multi-purpose field will provide additional capacity for our growing lacrosse, softball, soccer, and cricket programs. An outdoor exercise station was added to Veterans Memorial Park, in addition to a new picnic, shelter, grills, and a pavilion at Manor Park in Intervale. In the future, we have other plans to do some other neighborhood parks as well. But we've also invested in our infrastructure to ensure quality of life and attract desired economic development. In 2016, we paved 37 roads. We continue to make upgrades to our sewer treatment plant and have plans to upgrade the Knoll. And all of our utilities are self-liquidating. After nearly 30 years, and you would know, Mr. DePiero, we settled a dispute regarding Ford's Pond. Under that settlement, the township owns property, preserving our history forever. And the developer, thank you very much, sir, paid the township $600,000. But I got to tell you, you're a tough man, let me tell you, Mr. Mossberg. But I've got to negotiate with you, deal with you, you're a good man. But that being said, I could not have done this. I could not have done this, truly. I realized one thing, and that's why communicating is important. I needed some help, so I asked the council president to join in the negotiation, and Councilman Michael DePiero, so I didn't do it by myself. I could not have done that without you, so thank you very much. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mayor, with all these new services on top of all the other services we have, how can we continue to have the third lowest tax rate in Morris County? Well, that's a good question. And the answer, new quality ratables and sound fiscal management of our tax dollars. Since I became mayor back in 2010, Parsippany added 4.7 million square feet of occupied commercial space. We conservatively project another 500,000 square feet of office space coming in 2017. This brings the total to over 5 million square feet of office space, new and previously unoccupied space, to be occupied since I became your mayor. Now when you take the numbers, and I have our tax assessor in the back, we have approximately 3.5 million square feet of office space, 14 million? 14 million. And we added 5 million, that's how much we were down. This year, and not many towns are doing this, we will enjoy an increase of over $27 million in new ratables, translating into over $750,000 to Parsippany. This is a track record that you all should be proud of. And some of the companies who have moved here since 2010 to Parsippany and or expanded their presence in Parsippany include GAF, Wyndham Worldwide, Ferment Pharmaceutical, UPS, and just too many others for me to list. But I have to tell you that Parsippany is competing with other towns for these ratables. We are competing well because we have a mayor's action team for businesses. When a company is thinking about locating to Parsippany, I bring the mayor's action team directly to the table to meet with that company to demonstrate that my administration can work diligently and cooperatively with the businesses to facilitate good ratables for the town. And the best example was United Parcel Service. UPS contacted us a little over a year ago to say that they were moving 700 high-paying jobs, and the choices were Parsippany or Marietta, Georgia. Well, I got on it right away, and I assembled the mayor's action team to work with UPS. We've had several meetings, went through a complex redevelopment process, and negotiated a payment in lieu of tax agreement in a very compressed period of time. And as you know, Parsippany won that competition. And I have to thank that team of individuals that helped have that happen on December 26th of 2015, where they were going. My BA, everybody thinks that's Barberio's A, but it's business administrator. Alan Sandman. Control of the town and person. My tax assessor is in the back, Dan Cassis. Township attorney, John Casino. I gotta tell you, when I heard the deal we got, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So Monday came, well, after we all came back from the holiday, I get back into town hall and I'm still trying to, like, if this is real, Alan, and it was real. So I have to thank all of you. Today, the 200,000 square foot UPS building is under construction and nearly complete. Parsippany will gain millions of dollars in tax relief because of the deal we negotiated. And that's what it takes for Parsippany to win. And Parsippany won by getting UPS. Parsippany won by getting companies like I named before to come to Parsippany. And under the leadership of my administration, Parsippany will continue to win for our residents. In coming weeks, I will be announcing the formation of the Mayor's Council on Business, Industry, and Commerce. This group of distinguished leaders will assist me in charting a course to build on our successes that we've had already. And the chairman of that committee will be our tax assessor, Danny Cassis. The Township's focus on safety training and education for our employees has resulted in a major reduction of workers' compensation claims by $700,000 in savings from the prior year. We are entering into shared service agreements to save costs and maximize services. The tax collection rate in Parsippany-Troy Hills is strong, at 99.36%. But there are challenges, and our biggest challenge will be complying with the disastrous Supreme Court decisions which imposes unwanted development on Parsippany, better known as the Council on Affordable Housing. We will face the challenge and do what is right for Parsippany. But I can tell you this, I've been mayor 7 years, and one of the things I dreaded most was a decision that came in, if I can remember the exact date, and I don't, but I think it was March 14th of 2015, when the courts pretty much ruled against the towns. I knew there would be some problems going forward. Because if you think we don't have to comply, we have to comply. And if we don't comply, it will never end up good. But sadly, all these good things that you've heard about tonight, the positive things about Parsippany, if you get the news from your local media and people that have their own agenda, the taxpayers have been inundated with misinformation for far too long. Credible news sources report facts. Credible sources of news present the news of both sides. Many in our local media do neither. I can't respond to all this local media fiction tonight. But tonight, for you, I'm announcing my new blog. called Plug Into Parsippany. Plug Into Parsippany is my blog, and it will be used to maximize communication between me and our residents. Plug Into Parsippany will connect the inaccuracies published by the local media and maximize communication, between us. So, log on to Plug Into Parsippany at plugintoparsippany.com and just subscribe. There's no charge. That being said, also, go to our Facebook page. Go to our Twitter account. Also, go to our Channel 21 TV, my TV program, Pride in Parsippany, and go to our YouTube channel. A lot of information is going to be going out. I also want to recognize, and Mr. Dad, would you please come up and announce them? This is one of the programs we have in the police department, our Police Explorers program, and I appreciate these individuals coming. So,
good evening, everybody. This is our new Explorer program, and I invited a couple of our explorers. 3 of the 30 we have enrolled. We've had 7 meetings so far since the beginning of the school year, and just about every meeting we have almost 100% attendance of the 30 individuals that join the Explorer program. So I invited a few here tonight to come here and showcase our new uniforms that we actually just got. I drove down to Little Falls and I picked them up today at 3 o'clock. So they're here on very short notice, so I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. We have Joey Reber, one of our new reporters. Ian Snyder. So far it's been a lot of fun. We've covered a lot of different law enforcement topics up to this point. We have much more to look forward to. I think you guys are having a good time, or yes? Good. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. We meet about twice a month, and they're a joy. It's a lot of fun. Initially, when I was asked to do this, I was had a little trepidation, but I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding. So I look forward to. I have about 4 years left, and I have no problem spending the rest of my 4 years into retirement spending with these guys. They're a lot of fun. It's a good time. It's very rewarding. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you, the thank the Board of Education as well, the Chief of Police, Chief Phillips, Deputy Chief Pantina. Thank you so much for making all this possible. It's a really good time, and we're having a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to recognize our community volunteers and all our first responders for doing an outstanding job serving and protecting our community. We all appreciate your sacrifice and all the sacrifices they make for Parsippany. And as your mayor, the town, you make the town very proud. And all those volunteers, that's one of the reasons why we're the 5th best place to live in the United States as well. Again, I want to emphasize that the reason 2016 was so successful is because the majority of the council and I are working together. For the benefit of Parsippany-Troy Hills, a special thank you once again to Council President Louis Valori. Together we put our differences aside to work on behalf of our residents. We have pledged to continue to do so. I look forward to working with the entire council and our community to keep Parsippany moving forward in 2017. But before I close out, I want to ask all my department heads to stand up. Well, you got to stand. This is important. These are the people that run the town. Michelle Capone of Human Services does an outstanding job. Chief Phillips, chief of the town, not the township, but of the police department, does a wonderful job. Director of our own utility, Glenn Fosell. After a lot of stress on this one individual, a lot of responsibilities, the head of planning, zoning, construction, fire, Jennifer Vealey, thank you. Robert Schmidt, the head of the Fire Bureau. Michael Hardy, QPA, Qualified Purchasing Agent. Mark Fletcher, Director of Recreation. Joseph Janneron, Building and Maintenance. Jimmy Walsh, Head of Parks and Forestry. Andy Cassis, our Tax Assessor. Justin Lisa, our Township Engineer. Pete Heck, the Peck, Dean Snook, sorry, Dean. Head of our EMS, Chief of the EMS. Joe Beckmeyer. Boy, you got the dirtiest job, man. Director of our sewer utility. Alan Walker, Director of our water utility. Randy, you stand up, Randy. Randy is our town historian. Greg Snyder. Now everybody likes Greg Snyder, and I love Greg Snyder. But this guy probably never sleeps when it's snowing. But he's the head of the DPW, our director. Thank you, Greg. Now let me say this before I close out. I cannot do this job without these individuals. Without them, there would be no town. They are dedicated, loyal individuals and public servants as well. They love what they do, and I appreciate what you do for the township, because without you, we wouldn't have a township. And it's a stressful job at times, I know. Sometimes I become overbearing, but that's okay, because things need to be done. With that being said, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity for these past 8 years to serve as your mayor, because I love what I do. I don't call it a job, I call it a blessing from God. It's not an easy job, but I love what I do, and you've given me that opportunity to do it. But before I close out, because I could get yelled at for this, the person that pretty much runs my office, takes care of a lot of the problems in town, is Michelle Sylvan. You do a great job. And I have Danielle DeLuca, who's the Public Information Officer. In closing, this is what it means to be a township. This is what it means to be, the fifth best place to live. And these things don't happen by accident, like I said. So tonight, Paula, did I mention your name? Charlotte. Charlotte. Charlotte is my secretary. She keeps my schedule tight, believe me.
Like Charlotte.
And yeah, of course. But thank you very much, and God bless you all. Parsippany will be the best place to live in years to come.